your brain is going to fill in the gaps one way or another, so choose your opening sentence wisely. One thing that sets absolutely elite competitors apart from other athletes is the fact that they pick the narrative that they are going to start with. They decide which narrative they want to follow, and not just what your thoughts are telling you in your brain. They pick it specifically, purposefully, and they set themselves up for success. Let's talk about it. Athletes who have trained their brains don't waste time fighting their thoughts or their feelings. They accept the fact that they are there, even if they're uncomfortable, even if they're not necessarily helpful, even if we don't want them to be there in that moment. They are there. They're a part of the experience. It just is what it is. Our brain's constantly thinking. It's filling gaps. That's literally part of its job description. And we don't want to stop it. We don't want to think about nothing. We can still recognize that those things might not be helpful for the moment. However, the most helpful thing that we can do in that moment as competitors is to accept the fact that those things are there. We can't change them from being there. Trying to change them would only rob us of energy and maybe make us feel unmotivated or helpless because we actually can't change the fact that we're having these thoughts and feelings. We can accept the fact that they're there and decide to then set the narrative. We don't want to accept that those thoughts and feelings that we can't change, that's just the story that we're going to tell ourselves. We're not going to accept that part. We're going to accept the fact that they are there, but we're not going to allow that to be the story. We're going to set the story ourselves. And elite competitors do that by focusing on who they actually are, setting their narrative, who and what they already are, and who they are striving to become. I am more than prepared for this competition. I am a brave athlete who attacks the ball every time it's given to me. I am a strong athlete who lives to execute my skills under all circumstances. I am a team player who gives and asks for support. I am a mental machine. I can overcome anything. I am allowed to be human and always give my best. My best is enough. I am going to have fun doing this. So how can you start adjusting your mentality to actually come into this mindset of, hey, I'm going to accept the fact that those thoughts and feelings aren't a part of the narrative I want to tell myself, and I'm going to pick what I start with. It's by first taking a look at where you get hung up. Most likely, when you start telling yourself the positive side of the narrative, you're also going to hang a but in there. I'm a strong athlete, but I'm a brave athlete, but maybe the competitors are awesome, maybe the weather's not going to be great, maybe I'm sore, maybe I'm injured, maybe I've got pain. No. Those aren't the things we're going to tell ourselves. We don't want to hang a but on the end. Just say it as a statement. Focus on setting the narrative in a positive frame for yourself. Your brain will take care of the rest. It'll fill in the gaps. It's that inevitable autocorrect where it reminds you of the little things between the lines. And we don't have time for that. We don't need to listen to that part. Just start with the positive narrative that you want to set. What do you want to believe? Who are you? What are you already? And who and what is the athlete that you're striving to be? Because honestly, if you don't start believing and internalizing that you're already that athlete, who else is going to believe you and who's going to be convinced by it? Not us, definitely not yourself. If you don't believe it already, it's just going to feel fake. And yes, at the beginning, it does feel like fake it till you make it. And I know that that can be really irritating. However, it works. It takes practice of consistently, ritually saying to yourself, I am already this athlete. I am a strong athlete. I'm a brave athlete. This is what a brave athlete looks like. This is how I'm going to behave. And setting the narrative every day in training, to start the morning, to go into the evening, before you go to bed, and definitely before a competition, because we need to practice it outside of the moment, meaning not in a moment that's critical where you absolutely need your brain to work perfectly or work for you. We don't want to start then. We want to practice it up until that point so we can execute it perfectly under those circumstances. So start now, no buts about it. Just say who you are to yourself repeatedly. Write it down, a place that you're going to see it regularly, whether that be sticky notes on your mirror. A lot of Olympic athletes did that as well in the Summer and Winter Olympics. Whether that's a note card that you see in your wallet, something that's hung up in your kitchen, something that's hung up on your desk, somewhere where you're going to see this regularly repeated positive narrative about yourself. You need the repetitions in order to believe it. And then accepting the fact that both of these things can be true at the same time, that I have thoughts that are not helpful and that might go against that narrative, and the narrative that I believe and that I set purposefully every single day, especially before training and competitions. Both of those things can be true. We accept the fact that those thoughts and feelings are there that feel different than the narrative we're trying to set, and also accept the fact that maybe I don't always believe this narrative, but it is true. That is who I am. And if I don't believe that, who is going to believe me? I am already this. That ability to hold that range and both of those things allowed to be true at the same time, acceptance and setting, even when we aren't convinced every single moment, even if we want to fall back into these thoughts that we know aren't helpful for us, that's what sets elite competitors apart. The acceptance and the setting. You are already that athlete. You're the only one who's convinced you're not. We can change that.